Well, hey, here's a place you guys haven't seen in a little bit. Yep, that's right. I'm back on Spumcraft. Been kind of taking a little bit of break from Zombiecraft over on here, kind of catching up on some of the stuff I'm working on. And, well, I guess I may as well just bite the bullet and say that for whatever strange, bizarre reason, I like building in the Nether. And when I came on to Spumcraft, I kind of noticed that no real progress has been made on the Nether Hub. So what you're about to see is what I've come up with in the last day or so. And this is a temporary floor over there, by the way, just in case I hit lava or anything, or stuff's dropping as I'm working on it. So you can see I've kind of borrowed some of the inspiration for the end of the red tunnel I was working on Zombiecraft, and brought it over here. Now, it's not 100% complete because, unfortunately, I am starting to run out of spaces to... Well, not spaces. I'm running out of inventory, for starters, building all this. I've managed to fill up that chest multiple times over, and it's starting to get annoying. But I'm running out of just about everything, and I'm running out of the big one right now, which is, of course, the nether wart. I mean, we do have a farm on the server, and I can actually go in and manually harvest. But then I've got to go up and, of course, replant, and it takes a while to spawn at least, so it kind of stays semi-loaded, but that's about it. I don't know if I'm going to put anything underneath the stairs here. I'm actually toying with fences, but I don't know how well they'll actually work with the ceiling design. But yeah, I'm really just ripping out all of this stuff here, especially because when I kind of came on it, we've had a couple more portals set up, and I really kind of wanted to make it a little more, just do something to make this hub a little more presentable. I did kind of come back through and work on some of these tunnels, primarily doing this little half slab arrangement because this is one of those little AI pathing tricks that if you've got a half slab on the bottom and then an upper half slab on the top that's too wide, obviously you can still walk through it, but the mobs generally won't. A lot easier to do that than to worry about trying to get the whole path either to be anti-pigment or to put up, like I did on Spumcraft Season 1, the anti-pigment portals. I've done a little bit of refining on some of the paths. You can see I've put in a row of bricks behind the arch here, so that way it'll support a sign, because that's kind of what happened on my path a little bit, and I kind of liked how that looked, so that has been built in. This is to an unknown portal at this point, so that's why it's not labeled. I've got this in here as a filler for now. I don't know if I'm actually going to keep it, because unfortunately the problem I've got is the whole upper part of the hub is off by a block from the lower one, and this is starting to become a very familiar story with me when I work in the Nether, apparently. Not exactly sure how I'm going to react to it, because down here, I've already, as you can see, I've got the floor texture already pulled all the way over to here, and I kind of did a little bit of a filler spot here. So if I shift the floor over, that's going to break this, which is then also going to break this, because this is nice and symmetrical off of this axis for down here. Except for the fact that the wall's not there. So I think it's just going to have to be a case of that's just going to be how it is. Tighten this up a little bit so I could get the second, or the extra column in here. I did take this particular path and set it aside for another access, so you can get out to the Nether from here in a somewhat safer location than a lot of the previous ones were. I've got this entire floor, this entire open area slabbed off because as soon as I start working on the ceiling up there, it's almost guaranteed I'm going to hit lava. And with wood floors down here and fire spread enabled, I don't want to take that chance. But yeah, I really want to kind of turn this into a diagonal tunnel to go out in that general direction, especially because that will leave this tunnel open to build off of, and potentially this one to kind of build and go back to the side. And yeah, I want to try to put another tunnel here, and probably one or two over here. And that will probably finish off the paths from the downstairs. Upstairs, I did spend some time up here trying to make this a little more spawn-proof, because as I've been up here, I've been getting absolutely nailed. I came in at one point and saw a gas floating right in the middle of the hub as I was coming out of the purple path, and it's like, ah! So that was not exactly fun. I smoothed off the roof here, which means the roof on the bottom is kind of screwed up right now, but that's okay, because I think the whole of this is going to get ripped up and kind of extended to do a lot of the same sort of thing I'm going to be doing across the path here. As you can see, I'm starting to put up some scaffolding around the area, so that way I can start working on finishing off the rest of this stuff. I have a lot of mining to do in the nether farms to start getting some more netherrack, nether wart up and going. But yeah, slowly and yeah, it's alright. I also redid this landing a little bit, so it's spawn proof as well, and also sealed off this tunnel because this is basically the only thing going up. And that's all I really care about. I'm not going up to don't or anything that's up there. But yeah, all of this should hopefully stop the pigmen from getting into the hub itself. Aside from the baby pigmen, there's nothing I can really do about that with this design. But I didn't want to go hog wild on throwing up portals everywhere because A, I'm short on obsidian to begin with, and B, it really does kind of get a little irritating having that many portals around. I also did try to build I'd wanted to build this over to the marina and wound up getting into the iron farm disposal area, so yeah, the good news is nothing's coming through, so I don't have to worry about that particular problem, but yeah, it does kind of suck. But yeah, I've got the idea is, you've got the paths here, we've got the empty signs above it so you can label your path so we know who you're going to, and that's going to get narrowed down to just this. This is going to get swapped out here, and it'll be just like the paths that aren't used down here. So it'll just be start digging into the netherrack and just hope you don't hit lava, because there is lava around here. But I also, this has been trimmed down finally. I still have to trim that little bit out and start making something more of a transition between the hub and the path here. So we got that, and then I also want to kind of push. I keep saying I want to push that back a little, but this path doesn't necessarily have to end here. It could very easily kind of start here. So I have a little bit more room to push the main hub back, and maybe also do something to make something more of an efficient stable here, or at least something that looks a little better. The back of this is all sealed off now, all the way up to the ceiling, so the gas can't come in from outside. And I mean, really at this point, the only place you can take fire from a gas is up here. This is the only real kind of weak spot that's in the design right now, and that just comes down to I'm not going to. This particular path hasn't changed, so I'm assuming whoever this hasn't been on the server, but I may just kind of come back and just throw netherrack walls along the outside of it, or purple walls, one of the two.